Infinity Games Podcast.
Welcome to the Infinity Games Podcast. This is episode 32. I am Jukeboxhero.
I'm KelryxsKing.
And today, I've been hinting at it on social media. If you want to be a part of the conversation or talk about the podcast that we're recording, you can get us on Facebook at Infinity Games Podcast or Twitter at Games_podcast. But I've been dropping hints that this episode's going to be a little different, and it's because we're talking about a book.
Huzzah!
Yeah, something we haven't done before. And it is still related to video games. So suck
Huzzah.
on that. Today we'll be talking about Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It's a novel that came out in 2011 and is going to be turned into a movie this year, 2018.
It releases on March 30th.
Yeah, hype for that.
Very hype.
But
Also, we'll give any and everybody listening to this right now, we'll give you one massive spoiler warning right now.
yeah,
Because we're gonna, and the cat just ate shit. Anyways, because we're gonna be talking about like the book in its entirety. Like we're gonna be talking about certain parts that we geeked out about the hardest. We're gonna talk about like, you know, what the Easter egg is, how it gets solved, everything. So if you want to read this book or you want to stay unspoiled until you see the movie or until you've read the book, we have other episodes that you can watch.
yeah. Go listen to Mario Kart 8.
Oh god.
Episode 21. But no, 100% spoiler warning, because we're going to start off immediately by solving the clues for you.
Huzzah.
And before all of that, quick mention, I've been saying that you can go back and listen to all of our podcast episodes on Google Play, iTunes, pretty much anywhere. And I found out that the first 5 episodes were not showing up. And that issue has been fixed. So if you want to hear our humble beginnings when we were talking about the Nindies, which we make reference to a lot, you can.
Or ukulele, which is like still probably one of my favorite episodes that we've done.
Yeah, hell yeah. Episode 4. Episode 3, the only episode where we've had a guest where we talked about Breath of the Wild.
Indeed.
Yeah, so those are all there again. So, feel free to listen to them. And, man, how do you want to get into this? I want to talk about those clues, like, right away.
Do the clues.
Okay, so, the original poem, which in the book, they said the way to find it. Actually, you know what, dude? Do you want to give us a summary of the book?
A summary of the book.
Like a real quick one, so like people at least have a clue if they haven't read it, but also still don't care about spoilers.
Okay, so the main premise of the book is it's like 30 years from now. It's I think set in like 2048 or 2045 or something like that.
Yep.
Don't remember the exact year. And the world is just complete. It's a complete shit show. Like everything's just falling to pieces. If you're not rich as fuck, your life is shit essentially.
Yeah.
There's no happy medium. And the only escape from the shitty world is this game, quote unquote game, called the Oasis. The Oasis is a virtual reality space where you can do literally fucking anything. Like, did you love the old Power Rangers TV show? Well, good news. You can go and play through the fucking Power Rangers TV show episodes and probably walk away with a weapon that lets you summon a goddamn Megazord.
Yeah.
Because that's how it is. The Oasis is set up so that you can program and put anything into it. So it's just this massive pop culture monster, pretty much.
It's an open source virtual reality world, so anyone can create anything there.
Yep.
Yep.
So, and it still functions like a video game. Your avatars can level up, learn magic. You can, set up a secret base, buy a goddamn spaceship if you want, fly around to different cities, and just like, it's what nerds dream of.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so the Oasis is like the only thing that anybody gives a shit about. because it essentially makes life worth living. And when the creator of it, a man named James Halliday, when he passes away, he releases a statement as part of his will, and it essentially just says, I've hidden an Easter egg in the game, and whoever finds it will receive $24 billion, $240 billion, nearly $250 billion, and full unrestricted access and control and ownership of the Oasis. So, of course, everybody goes fucking mad because that's literally more money than you could ever spend in a lifetime. Like, I don't even know what you do with fucking $250 billion. That's just absurd.
Buy a country.
Buy a country. Buy the world. You're like, you know what? You're like, I quite like North America. Put it on my credit card. So, of course, everybody goes fucking crazy for this. And pretty much the book opens up with, like, the Easter egg hunt getting explained and all of this. And then you flip the page after it explains, okay, whoever wins gets unrestricted access and control and all this money. And then you flip the page and it says 5 years later.
Yeah.
And then you flip the page again and you learn that after 5 years, nobody has figured out anything about the Easter egg.
Nada.
Because it's just so well hidden.
So, okay, I think that's a good introduction to a point where we can talk about these clues. So, there was a poem that was hidden in Anorak's almanac. Anorak was the avatar of James Halliday. His almanac was like a culmination of all his diary entries, his journals, his thoughts, stuff like that. And the way the book described it was that there were certain letters in the book that had notches in them, like little ticks, things that were almost imperceptible. But,
quick thing. There's also the original poem that was released when he announced the Easter egg.
Oh,
and then the one with the notches was the clue for the first key.
Right. My bad.
All good.
Okay, so
I forgot until you were like halfway through explaining, and then I was like, wait a second.
Okay, so the original poem's kind of self-explanatory. 3 hidden keys open 3 secret gates, wherein the errant will be tested for worthy traits, and those with skill to survive these straits will reach the end where the prize awaits.
So pretty basic. All it's saying is, there's 3 keys, there's 3 gates, get all the keys, solve all the, get through all the gates, you win, have a happy life.
Yeah. So anyways, on to the first clue.
Indeed.
Apparently, it became worldwide knowledge in this fictional dystopian future. The copper key awaits explorers in a tomb filled with horrors, but you have much to learn if you hope to earn a place among the high scorers. And that all came from letters in a book that had notches taken out of them. Take each letter, put them in a row until it spells out this limerick.
Jukebox, you want to tell the people what you found out afterwards that I called you ridiculous for?
Okay, in 2012, there was a real-life Easter egg contest of sorts that Ernest Cline set up, and you could win a DeLorean, the same kind of DeLorean that was described in the book, with like a flux capacitor and the Ghostbusters logo on the door and all that stuff. The first clue, which no one found out for, I think it was 10 months until he announced that there was indeed a clue in his book, was that from chapter 0 to chapter 6, the first line of each chapter was in a different font. And there were little notches taken out of certain letters, and if you put those letters in a row, it was anoraksalmanac.com. And if you went to that URL, it would take you to the first gate. And I found that shit out.
Now, you never answer my question. Did you find that by yourself, just
I did.
reading through the book? Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, okay, because I'd listened to previous podcasts back in like 2012, so I knew the contest existed. So I already knew there was a hint in the book somewhere. I just didn't know where it was.
So you were subconsciously looking for something the whole time.
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't even subconscious. I was purposely looking for something.
Gotcha.
But I had zero clue what it was, so I had several theories. It was like, Chapter 10 starts on page 100. Chapter 20 starts on page 200. Chapter 30 does not start on page 300. So maybe you look for chapter 30, you find the page it's on, you take 300 minus that page, and then maybe you have to go to the resulting numbers page, and there's a clue there or something. There's quotes at each section. The book is in 3 sections. I was like, okay, maybe these quotes have something to do with it, so I Googled the quotes. And then one of them was fictional. It was a quote from Anorak's Almanac, and it was like, I don't remember. It was like chapter 17, quadrant 30 or some shit like that. So I went to chapter 17 and I counted out 30 lines or 30 paragraphs or whatever. And it was Parzival saying, I have. And I'm like, okay, that leads to fucking nothing. And then after each gate, they seemed to be ending up on planets that were in like a multiple of 2. So after the first gate, they're on a planet with 256 instances of the same thing. And as soon as I read that, I'm like, okay, 256, that's like 8 bits. Maybe they're referring to an 8-bit game or something. And then the next gate, it was 512. And then the next gate, it was 1024. And because the book had mentioned Robotron 2084 so many times, but they never reached a planet with 2084 instances of anything, I'm like, okay, maybe the hint's in Robotron. Like, I just fucking flew off of everything. And then, you know, it said that there was a hidden clue with the notches and stuff, and I'm like, hey, maybe it's more literal. And I was like, I am not scrutinizing every fucking letter of this entire fucking book. And I mean, I went back to chapter 0 and I figured I'd give it a flip through. And because it was literally the first line, that's how I found it. I'm like, oh, there we go. And then I just kept going from there.
Nice. when Jukebox told me this, because I bought the book and I took it to work with me and I read it. When I got home, my fiance read it, and then when she was done with it, we lent it to Jukebox. And I still need to get that back from you at some point.
Yeah, man.
But and then so yeah, sure enough, Jukebox reads it much faster than I expected him to, because he's a busy goddamn man.
Yeah, I did it in 2 days. Because I got off Saturday and I read it, and then Sunday I'm like, hey, I need to finish it today or I'm never going to get to read it, because I had the book for like a full week and I'd only read like 20 pages.
Yeah.
So I did that in 2 days just so I could have it done.
Worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it.
And then like Monday or Tuesday he messages me and he's like, you know, there's an Easter egg in the book, right? And I'm like, no shit, that's what the book's centered around. He's like, no, not that one. Then he told me about the DeLorean thing, and I'm like, I think my exact words were like, dude, what the actual fuck? And I'm just like, you're too fucking smart for your own good.
Maybe.
But
so, you know what? I'm just gonna finish explaining this contest. Because it also ended in 2012. So that first gate, the site, it's a game that they made specifically for the book called The Stacks. It's styled like an old Atari 2600 game, and you can actually download the ROM and play it in an Atari 2600 emulator, which I haven't been able to get to work in browser, so that might be the only way to play it at this point. And if you beat the game or whatever, you would unlock the second gate, which no longer exists because it was a Facebook game. also created specifically for Ready Player One. And then after that, the third gate, I don't know if they like gave you a code or something if you beat the Facebook game so they knew you actually finished the second gate, was you had to set a world record score in either Joust on the Atari 2600, Joust the arcade game, Robotron 2084, Black Tiger, and maybe Tempest. There was a couple options, but you had to set a world record in order to win that DeLorean.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and the person who won it got the world record in Joust on the Atari 2600.
Like a real boss.
Yeah. And I own a Joust arcade cabinet. If you want to hear about that, we did a arcade collecting interview in episode 5. But I've seen like world record runs of Joust, and it is fucking insane, and I doubt anyone would ever be able to do that in a short enough time to win that DeLorean.
Hang on, I'm looking this up. I need to see a world record.
Oh god. So yeah, that was the real life contest, and I found the first clue, and I was really proud of it, and Kelryx's mind was blown.
Yep.
But let's talk about this copper key. So, I love this book with a passion. I think it's an amazing book, but I also say it's a bad piece of literature, because it relies so hard on you suspending your disbelief. And it has most of the same problems that something like an isekai anime or like Sword Art Online would have. So, they say that for the first 5 years, no one knows anything. They're nowhere near close to finding anything. But then they just kind of mention it in like one paragraph that, oh yeah, by the way, they found this clue to the first key years ago and everyone knows about it. It's like, okay, so you kind of lied to me about no one knowing anything. But also, does Google not exist in the fucking future or something?
I would assume... I don't know, it's one of those things, because it's like, you'd think in the dystopian future, it's like, if everything is run off the Oasis, you'd think stuff like Google and all that would have been shut down and...
Yeah, but there would at least be some sort of alternative.
Yeah.
It's like there has to be some sort of search engine.
I'll admit, I also called bullshit on that, because it's like, you look at like Destiny, for example, or look at like Call of Duty and zombies and stuff. There's always Easter eggs in those, and they're always really, really over the top to get to.
Yeah.
Like the raids in Destiny, you boot up a raid and you literally get zero indication on what you're supposed to do. Like zero.
Yeah.
And then like literally there's times where it's like the raid comes out, people literally beat it an hour and a half later. And then an hour after that, it's like, oh, here's all the secret chests. Here's how you do all this shit. And every single time that happens, I'm just sitting there looking at the screen, watching this video that explains it. I'm like, who the fuck figures this shit out?
Right.
It would have been the same thing for Ready Player One. Like IRL, like somebody would have just figured that shit out in like in a couple of days.
Yeah, like my Google foo is strong. The first thing I would have searched would be Tomb of Horrors, because in a tomb filled with horrors. It's a tomb of horrors, and I'd search that, and because that's the name of the module, I mean, it'd be like the first fucking thing I find, right?
Yeah. Here, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. So let's just
of horrors.
I'm searching in a tomb.
Literally the very first thing
filled with horrors.
Wikipedia, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, same. Even I just typed in a tomb filled with horrors, and it's like, boom, Tomb of Horrors Wikipedia.
Yeah. So
Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Module S1 Tomb of Horrors. Like this is all in the first like 4 search things.
Yeah. So Tomb of Horrors, I personally did not know it, but if I had any access to any amount of searching, because we know they have like an archive of everything of the 80s in the Oasis.
Yeah,
surely
like,
they have a search system to get through it.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I want to watch War Games, and it's like 2 seconds later, it's like, whoop, there it is.
Yeah. So, and then the second part to that, but you have much to learn if you hope to earn a place among the high scorers. A place among the high scorers obviously means the scoreboard for finding keys and stuff, but like you have much to learn.
We should mention that real quick, the scoreboard. We didn't mention that.
Okay. Do you want to do it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, as soon as the Easter egg hunt kicked into gear, this the website for Anorak's Almanac or whatever it was, where you could watch like James Halliday's video where he explains what's happening.
Yep.
The day after he died and that video was released saying the Easter egg is there, the hunt is on, give her shit, that website was replaced with something called the scoreboard. And it was 10 slots with zeros and no names. So it was...
The initials were James Halliday's.
Oh, were they? Was it JH?
JDH.
JDH, okay.
Yep.
So, I stand corrected. So, James Halliday's initials were filling all 10 slots with a bunch of zeros beside all of them, or just, were they just blank?
Zeros.
Zeros?
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, everybody made the automatic assumption that anytime you solved something regarding to the Easter egg, you would get points, and then whoever had the highest points at any given time would be at the top of the scoreboard. So, that's what it means by a place among the high scorers. It's like indicating that you beat the first gate, or you get the copper key and you beat the first gate or whatever, and you're gonna be on the scoreboard.
Yeah. So, I mean, that part's a little self-explanatory. The only thing left to the reader to actually figure out, assuming they didn't know about the Tomb of Horrors and assuming they weren't like Googling things along with the book, was you have much to learn if you hope to earn. But the fact that our main protagonist can't go anywhere except the fucking school planet gave that one away to me like immediately. I'm like, he's gonna find it on that planet. Like, what else is he gonna do?
I'll admit, like I've said multiple times, like Jukebox is much more, I don't know the word for it, but he's much more like keen on shit like this. So like when I was reading the book, my first like instinct was, you can't put an Easter egg in a game and only make it so that half of the people that play it have the potential to get it.
Right.
So I didn't, because I'm dumb and I have fucking tunnel vision in my brain at this point in my life, I didn't immediately put like 2 and 2 together, like, oh, it's on the planet with all the schools, it's on Ludus. Like, I was like, it has to be somewhere easily accessible. Like, if there's like a hub world or somewhere where, you know, at first, I don't know why, but I didn't realize that where you logged out was where you then logged back into. I assumed that maybe like you logged in and you went to like some hub world and then were able to go to school from there or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't know why I thought that, because there's literally zero mention of anything even remotely close to that.
Actually, yeah, there is, because when you first create your avatar, you're put on a planet where all new avatars go. And then you have to transport from there. And if you don't have, if you can't get any tokens or whatever, you can't use the teleports. Okay. So he could only go to school because he was a registered student. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's probably where you got that.
Most likely. Because I also, like, I literally read this book in like one day.
Yeah.
So I meant to read it over a week. Like, I've probably mentioned it before, but I read incredibly fast. So 9 times out of 10, if I get a new book and I'm excited about it, I will read it in one day, and I will refuse for anything to get in my way. I will literally stay up until 4:30 a.m., even if I work at 5 the next morning.
Lol.
So, my life. So,
my life.
But originally, I was going up to work just for a week because I had vacation days and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna read this book slow. I'm gonna just read it at like coffee breaks and stuff like that, and I'm gonna make sure that I take everything. And then sure as shit, first day of work, we get like a layover because our badges don't scan, so we're stuck waiting at the security office. So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well start reading my book. I start reading my book, and this guy is sitting across from me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what part are you at?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm at this part." And he's like, "Oh man, it gets so much better." And I'm like, "You motherfucker!"
The book's
like,
too good. I can't put it down.
I'm like, "Fuck you! Now I can't put it down." Yeah. Wake up the next morning, and I pass him in the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, what part are you at?" And I'm like, "I finished it." He's like, "You don't sound happy." I'm like, "It was supposed to last me a week."
Well, you can read it again.
Yeah, very true. So yeah, like I didn't immediately put "you have much to learn." I didn't immediately like connect 2 and 2 and be like, "Oh, duh, school." So, but I did have that like gamer instinct that I've honed over so many years. I was like, it has to be somewhere easily accessible.
Yeah.
It has to be somewhere where everybody can get to for either fuck all of a cost or it has to be like this hub world or something where everybody starts out.
Yeah.
Or something. So I had that instinct, but I didn't immediately put 2 and 5 together like Jukebox was able to.
So here's the thing, because I had my doubts too. Like, I read ahead as fast as I could to see if I was right, of course, but like, you have much to learn. And I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be on the school planet because that's the only place you can go to. But then I was also like, because they don't mention that people who are not in school can go to that planet. So I assumed only people registered in school could be on that planet, and that would be highly unfair. So I was like, maybe this is some ridiculous frickin' Saved by the Bell reference or something stupid. Right?
Yeah. Like, oh, if you want the first key, you have to go play through the first 10 episodes of the Smart Guys show.
Right?
From the 90s.
But yeah.
I fucking love that TV show. I gotta watch that shit again.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Is it?
Oh yeah. The little 11-year-old kid, and he's like a fucking 160 IQ dude, and he goes to high school and shit. Oh, it's good times.
Pure genius.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, okay, suspension of disbelief and all that stuff in this book, but dude, I thought it was excellent how the moment someone found it on Ludus, everyone just like amalgamated on that planet, just like swarmed it. Like that's real life. That is exactly what would happen.
Oh, 100%. It wouldn't be like everybody get in line, everybody take a turn, it'd be like, ah!
Yeah, like even if Parzival, like the main guy, if he was 100% anonymous, there would be people hacking like government databases to find him, like literally anything, and they would figure it out. It'd be like a day at most, and then everyone would be on that planet. That's just how it is.
And that's something to also mention about the scoreboard and why it's a good thing, and also the worst possible thing for they're called Gunters, which is I always remember the like terminology, an acronym.
Egg hunters. And then they
it's
stick it
an
together.
acronym for so they get Gunters.
Yeah.
So the scoreboard is the best thing for the Gunters because it allows them to see who's ahead or behind them. But it's also the worst thing because as soon as, spoiler warning, Parzival clears the first gate, his name is right up top.
Yep.
With his fucking score. And anybody who was looking at it at that point would have immediately known, shit, somebody just cleared the first gate. Yeah. Or somebody just got the first key. And then everything goes to shit, like overnight.
So, God, yeah. And I mean, it does.
Yeah.
So okay.
Do we want to make quick mention of the bad guys?
Yeah, go for it.
So, the main antagonist of the books are this group called, what they call them, the Sixers. And what it is this big company who wants control of the Oasis hires people to become a Sixer. They give them an avatar, they give them like a salary, place to live, all this shit. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I was in this situation, me personally, I would immediately know I have no chance of finding this fucking thing. Like, at all. I am not nearly in tune enough, and I am not nearly fucking I'm not nearly smart enough to like memorize the shit that the characters need to memorize in order to make the progress they do.
Yeah.
So even though I'd feel like a scumbag, I'd probably sign up for the Sixer program just so I didn't have to live in fucking poverty.
This whole
and then
book,
I would just make no contribution. I'd be like, oh yeah, I went to this planet and I found fuck all. Sorry.
I watched every season of the original Xeno Warrior Princess 5 times. Nothing there. I may have fell asleep for the entire thing, but I'll take my paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I'd personally, like, obviously they're painted as bad people and the Gunters hate them because to them they're sellouts.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things too. It's like you look at the living conditions that the main character Wade Watts or Parzival is in. Like, he sleeps in a fucking laundry room in a like little camper filled with like 12 other people. Like, I wouldn't want any part of that shit. So I'd be out pretty fast. But I also like to think that in that kind of situation I'd be able to be like, I like to think that maybe I'd be good enough at it that I could like join an arena or something and like, you know, PvP to win and make money, and then maybe I could just enjoy life. Yeah, or whatever, you know, kind of like H does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, anyway, I'm rambling because I love this book.
Okay, I just want to say this whole book centers around this dystopian future, and it paints such a vivid image that I think most Americans, like specifically Americans, could attach to immediately, because fear of corporations is such a massive thing in the States.
Oh yeah.
Whereas, you know, most of the rest of the world just thinks of them as big businesses.
Yeah.
It's like your mom and pop shop. If they, you know, expanded and then kept expanding and kept expanding, that's how fucking massive corporations happen.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I have a hard time believing that, you know, the internet provider would be that ridiculously evil. But that's how it's centered around for this book, and that's the reality that you have to accept. But considering how horrid literally everything else is in this world, I can't see most free-thinking people being like, yeah, I don't want to be a Sixer because, you know, I might get rich. It's like people who want to bet on the lottery. It's like, I could literally be homeless, or I could have everything forever for watching 80s shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
the real dream.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Sixers are like, they sign up, they sign a contract saying if you find anything, it immediately becomes property of the company. If you find the Easter egg, you get none of it. You just get like a pat on the back pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like you literally sign away your chance at winning the Easter egg hunt for a salary and a place to live and all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Which, again, avoid like, it's like one of those things, poverty and hope for the best, or join the fucking Sixers and make zero contribution to their cause and just
live,
have a life, you know?
Yeah.
So and I mean, yeah, anyways.
Yeah, so let's talk about the actual the trial and the gate and stuff for the Copper Key. The Tomb of Horrors. Before giving anything away, did you scream as loud as I thought you would when you got to the first trial? I was very excited about it, but I was excited about a lot of things in this book.
I know, every time you flip the page, you're like, oh, yay!
More references, things I know about.
Like, no, I was... Like, we'll mention exactly what it is in a minute, but, like, I was reading through the book, and I got to the first gate, like, or the first key, and, like, the trial that you have to go through, I read what Parzival had to do, and I was like, Jukebox is gonna fucking flip.
Yeah. So,
but I told him when I gave him the book, too, I was like, you're gonna fucking shit your pants when you get to a certain part, and you're gonna know which part I mean.
Oh, yeah. So, okay.
Anyways, proceed.
The first part is the Tomb of Horrors. You actually had to pretty much play through the D&D campaign, but in, like, a virtual real life, I guess. And then skip all that once you get to the end of that shit, because, I mean, they could have, like, the maps up and all that other stuff, so what the fuck does it matter? You had to beat Anorak in Joust, the arcade game.
Jukebox built a Joust arcade cabinet.
Uh-huh. I restored that shit from like dust.
Yeah.
Oh god, I love Joust.
I freaked out. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, like the fact he gets down to like one's an ostrich and the other isn't. I mean, that's such a minute detail that most people don't know, even if they've played Joust.
Kelryx slowly raises his hand in guilt and shame.
And I mean,
I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, they're fucking different? What?
yeah. And then also that he even mentions like the color of the joysticks, because that was a very unique thing for that cabinet, is like a baby blue and a yellow joystick.
Oh, I was gonna say green and yellow for some reason.
Close. That
Damn.
baby blue one, the original ones, for some reason, a lot of them have changed color over time and have like a greenish tint. It's kind of gross.
Huh.
Yeah. But I think at one point he was even trying to allude to there's a trick in Joust where if you're flying and it's a quick wrist flick to turn around and back forward to pretty much destroy any enemy near you.
Yeah.
He alludes to that, and then part of the way to beat Anorak is to switch to the first player side.
Was that like a confirmed thing, or was it just like, was it confirmed that gave you an advantage, or was it just like,
well,
because
I'm not sure. I don't think it was necessarily confirmed, but like 3 of the 5 characters did it, so
I would just, it makes sense. Not necessary, but definitely beneficial.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And if you haven't played Joust, here's a hidden gem.
Oh shit.
This whole episode's going to be filled with them. Get the Midway Greatest Hits collection on whatever console. So, like, they have it on the N64, they have it on the Dreamcast, I'm sure they have it on, like, the PS1 and the PS2. It has a lot of games that they reference in this book. So, Robotron 2064, Joust, Defender, shit, I don't know what else is on there, but there's a couple.
Adventure?
And no.
Oh.
Adventures on the 2600.
Right.
Yeah. But, yeah, just, you can probably even find a browser version online. Just play Joust a little bit.
It's hard as fuck.
It's like the original PvP game. Like, there was
It's
Mario
hard as
Bros.
fuck.
And there was Joust.
And it's hard as fuck.
It's so hard.
Is that the concept is essentially, it's like you have a joystick and you have a button. Tapping the button makes your bird or your stork or your ostrich or whatever, makes it flap its wings.
Yeah, Flappy
And
Bird
then-
style.
Yeah, and then as you move to a side, you build up speed. So, like, you need to be smashing the shit out of that button just to stay airborne, and then you drop pretty fast if you stop hitting the button. You also need to be constantly steering your stork, and you have to make sure that you're constantly on top of the enemies, like, literally, because if they get on top of you, they'll kill you.
Yeah, those like 5 pixels of a jousting stick, whatever you call it, if those, they have to be at or above your enemies, and that's how you kill them. So most people, they literally just fucking bird butt their enemies to death.
Yep.
Super skilled people going for like world records and stuff will be like 1 pixel above.
Oh, it's
Like
ridiculous.
super minute movements, shit like that. It's insane.
Game's fun as hell, but you're not going to do very well at it the very first few times you play it.
Yeah. So I lost my fucking mind over that. And
Mhm.
Parzival became the first to beat it. And then he was given another clue. What you seek lies hidden in the trash on the deepest level of Dagorath. So, Dungeons of Dagorath, I've heard of that game before. So I assumed it
I
had
never
something to
did.
do with that. I had no clue what the fuck the trash was talking about.
Mhm.
I know about the TRS-80 computer. I did not know it was called the Trash 80.
Yeah. No, I'm like I said, like going into this book, like you're gonna get a lot of nostalgia as long as you weren't born in like the fucking 2000s. Like if you're 12 and you read this book, you won't probably get any of it.
Yeah.
But like just a heads up, if you've watched the trailer for the Ready Player One movie, you probably noticed Tracer from Overwatch is in it at some point. That shit doesn't happen in the book at all.
No.
Because the book came out way before Overwatch was a thing.
Yeah.
So, of course, the movie's going to probably throw in a few references here and there for the more,
current generation. So, I mean, if some 12-year-old who, like, loves Overwatch to death, he's going to go see it, he's going to be like, oh my god, I saw Tracer. Right. Meanwhile, we're going to be like, the original Gundam!
Oh, I screamed very loud. I screamed very, very loud at that part.
Okay. We'll get to the trailer eventually.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah. So, okay. He beats the first gate, right?
Yep.
And then people soon follow, and that makes sense, right?
So, the first gate, what it was is... So what you seek lies hidden in the trash on the deepest level of Daggerath. So he had to go and find this Trash 80 computer, which they explain is the first computer that James Halliday ever owned, which is what he coded his first game on, which was called Anorak's Adventure, and that's what like started his whole debacle into his game company and making the Oasis and all this. So they find that there are replicas of Halliday's house on a certain planet.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things where Jukebox was mentioning where it's like 256.
Yeah.
Because there are 256 identical copies of James Halliday's house on this planet.
Yeah.
So the idea was you would go into any one of them, the computer would be there, and the game would be in a shoebox laying next to the computer. You'd take the game out, plug it in, and then once you beat the game, Dungeons of Daggerath, then you would unlock the first gate.
Mm-hmm. At which point your score would jump by like 100,000.
Yeah, and then the first gate, after Parzival entered it, it paints the picture kind of funny, but then he realizes what's going on, and then he tells you, the reader, what's going on, and you're like, that's fucking cool. He gets put into the shoes of Matthew Broderick's character in the movie War Games. And I've never seen War Games personally, but from my understanding, the concept is it's like Matthew Broderick plays like some teenage computer hacker, and they have an AI that's going crazy and decides to like nuke the entire world. So they essentially ask for help, and this fucking little young computer hacker guy figures out how to stop it. So he goes into the first gate and he becomes Matthew Broderick, and he quickly realizes that you need to play through the movie, and you get points for saying the lines when you need to, for emoting the proper way, for you need to essentially play the movie from start to finish 100% to get the maximum amount of points.
Yeah.
So, and Parzival states throughout the book that he loves the War Games movie. He thinks it's a classic, a masterpiece, all this stuff. So he like, the first like little bit that he's in this scenario, he's nerding out.
Right. He's like, oh my god, I'm this character. I know what to do.
Yeah, and then it kind of like montages it. It's like it plays in detail like his first kind of encounter inside the first gate, whereas it's like Matthew Broderick's like playing Galaga on a old like tabletop arcade system.
Yeah, which I also
one
own.
Jukebox has.
I nerded out at that part too. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I forgot about that, to be completely honest, until like just now. I'm like, fuck, wait, Jukebox has one of those too. Jesus. So then he realizes that, and he's like, you know, this kid walks up in the movie and he like starts talking to Matthew Broderick, and he's like, hey, what's up? You know, fucking, hey, you want to take over for this for me? I gotta get to school. And the kid's like, wow, awesome, okay. So Parzival quickly realizes, because the kid's just like standing there in limbo, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's like, wait. So he tests it out, and he's like, hey, you want to take this over for me? And then all of a sudden everything hits the play button again. And the kid's like, yeah, that'd be great, thanks. And then like he's like, I have to go through the entire movie.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
And like he gets a bonus for immediately remembering that he has to grab his book off of a arcade cabinet before he runs out of the arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a super advanced version of the type of game Dragon Lair is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like super advanced. Like put Dragon Lair on like every steroid you can possibly imagine, and that's probably what you get.
I think it would be really awesome if that became an actual type of game.
That'd be so cool.
And honestly, I think we're at a point where it actually wouldn't be that difficult to do.
No.
Well, I mean, like, it would be difficult as it would be like a huge game, but it wouldn't be difficult as in like the individual parts that make that up we can already kind of do.
Yeah, because all you have to do is like code the movie into the game and then fucking add in what you need to add in.
Yeah. Like if you could imagine you 3D model the arcade, and then it's like they have voice recognition or something, and they're looking for specific words strung together, and if you get those words, you get the points, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd play the hell out of one of those.
Yeah.
I'd dominate a Pirates of the Caribbean one.
SpongeBob SquarePants movie and Tenacious D. Those would be my jam.
Tenacious D.
So stupid.
That'd be so fucking fun.
So
Wait,
stupid.
how do you do the cock? How do you do the cock and the button scene?
X-rated, not to be talked about.
Somebody like you're like playing the Tenacious D flick sync or whatever. Somebody like your fucking lady walks in and you're just like you got like your VR headset on and shit. And you're just like your fucking like dick's just like poking out of your fucking pants. She's just like, I'm gonna close this door now.
Oh god, that'd be too perfect.
That'd be fucking hilarious. Anyways, so Parzival completes the first gate, gets a shit ton of points, is having the fucking time of his life, and then yeah, so that's the first key in the first gate, and then he gets the second clue, which is the captain conceals the jade key in a dwelling long neglected, but you can only blow the whistle once the trophies are all collected.
Tell me your thoughts on that. Did you have any clues?
I literally had nothing. I had zero idea.
I was grasping at straws. So, the captain, I was assuming it was going to be some sort of Star Trek reference. You know,
I was
like
also
Captain
thinking
Kirk.
like, I was also kind of thinking, I was thinking space. I was like the captain or a ship. I was thinking like the open sea. I was thinking like maybe like Moby Dick or some shit like that. And then I was like, no, that's way before the 80s. Like,
Yeah. But, so I had no clue on the captain. The whistle?
Yep.
I would have never guessed the Captain Crunch whistle.
Digimon, digital monsters.
What I desperately wanted it to be was the warp whistle from Mario Bros. 3.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
I was like, okay, I really hope it's this, but I have no fucking clue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they fucked up.
Missed opportunity.
That would have been way cooler. It's like, cause yeah, it's like, yeah, the whistle out of, well, we haven't gone to that, but it's like where the whistle comes from. It's like, that would have been cool if it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be just a normal whistle, but then you pull out like the fucking warp whistle from Bar. Oh, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, just like warp onto the Star Trek Enterprise or something. You're like the
That would have
captain.
been,
Do another
so
flick sync or whatever they called him.
yeah, do the fucking, do like the Wrath of Khan or whatever.
Yeah.
Khan!
So, what he figured out, and there's this big kind of gap in the book where he's kind of like uber famous for being the first on the scoreboard, and he's getting promotions and all this stuff. So he has his own apartment and somewhat of a life and all this other stuff. And
do we want to make a quick mention of like what happens before he gets his own apartment?
You know what, I'll just say that it's really convenient that he didn't die.
Like, really convenient.
And we can leave that open for people to find out.
Yes.
Okay.
So now you got that itch. You're like, what happens?
Go buy the book.
What happens? I need to know. Go get the book.
Give Ernest Cline your money.
Give him all your money. This man deserves it.
He does.
He does. If I ever meet him, I might just kidnap him.
So yeah, and I mean, in all that time, he's falling in love with a girl and all this other stuff. So
Part 3 miss.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, shuddered. Shuddered when that part happened. She was like, "Oh my god."
5.
I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "It's Artemis, for fuck's sakes."
Yeah, no kidding.
I was also very happy with her name because
Greek
I've probably
gods,
mentioned
yeah.
it once or twice, but I'm a massive Greek mythology nerd. I love anything to do with that shit. So when her name was Artemis after the goddess of the hunt, I was like, yes.
Go figure. The speed boots she has too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
More of a Hermes thing, but still appropriate for a goddess.
Yeah. But fuck. Where was the whistle?
Yeah, the second key and shit.
So okay, so he mentioned you use this whistle that you get out of a Captain Crunch cereal box, and if you blow it into a phone, it has the perfect frequency to be able to unlock long distance calls. So
Yeah.
I had known about that because I've read about that before, but I would have never fucking guessed that. However, a dwelling long neglected once the trophies are all collected. I've played Zork, for fuck's sakes.
Have you really?
Yeah, I have. I don't believe for a single fucking second that in this dystopian future where people are absolutely 100% obsessed with everything in the 80s and they know exactly what Anorak loves, that no one would have figured out this Zork thing fucking sooner. Because that is a massive classic for those old computer like text-based click and quest or whatever the fuck you call them, like Call of Duty Black Ops. If in the start screen you break out of the chair by jiggling the joysticks around and you go to the console computer, you can unlock Zork and play it on fucking Call of Duty Black Ops.
Can't you also get Smash TV on that? Didn't we do that?
It's a Call of Duty Zombies version of Smash TV, but yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's like the original version of Zork. And I mean, like, I've played fucking Zork. How could no one know this?
I don't know. It's like me and Jukebox said at the beginning. It's like, as fucking amazing as this book is, and as much as we both love it to death, like, there are a couple of slight issues. Just because there's constant mentions of how easy it is to search anything, find anything, get all this information for the Oasis.
And the fact that, like, the entire world's obsessed with it.
Yeah, and then it's such a hassle to figure out anything regarding these clues and the Easter egg and stuff like that. And I'm just like, this is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, people would have this shit figured out over fucking night in the real world.
So, I mean, I had half the clue.
Yeah.
And, so he has to play, like, a real-life version of Zork, and then he can blow the whistle. And what happened after that? What was the gate?
They blow the whistle, it turns into the jade key, and then they get a silver foil wrapper to guide them, and it says, continue your quest by taking the test. And I don't remember this part, like, at all. But apparently both the wrapper and line of text are references to the Blade Runner franchise.
Yeah.
By saying unicorn, the wrapper folds into the shape of a unicorn. But it doesn't say what the second gate is. Like,
so, okay, I remember this because I haven't watched Blade Runner.
No, neither have I.
I don't know if I would have figured this one out. But in Blade Runner, there is an origami unicorn on, like, a piece of foil paper or whatever, and that's why by saying unicorn, it turns into this origami paper, and it's kind of like a flick sync again, where he's inside of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And it's at a pretty climactic point where he has to like infiltrate whatever it is, because I don't know what it is. And once he's in there, what the fuck happened?
I just pulled it up on the Ready Player One wiki. The second gate was a digital recreation of the video game Black Tiger.
Right, because that's James Halliday's like favorite fucking game or something, and no one seemed to mention it until that point.
Exactly, and it was also, I just remembered, like, it was also one of the ones that you mentioned was one of the world record possibility games to win the DeLorean.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, when you said Black Tiger, I was like, why the fuck Black Tiger? Like, Tempest and Joust and stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, I understand. And then, so you played through, beat Black Tiger, and then once you win...
It's worth mentioning that the Black Tiger that he played through was like a 3D version of a 2D game.
Yeah, like he actually takes the place of the protagonist.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as simple as him just being like, oh, I played this game 1,000 times because it was one of the games that I mastered just in case I needed it eventually.
Yeah.
It's like, so he gets thrown into the game, he knows all about the game, but then he has to play it in a completely different perspective, so he probably had a hell of a time.
Yeah.
And then completing the game gives you the riddle for the third key, the crystal key, and it also gives you a prize that I shat my pants about. I got so excited at this part because, like, I'm a typical boy in this thing. I love fucking ninjas, I love pirates, and I love giant fucking robots.
Yeah.
Everybody loves giant fucking robots. If you don't, you're a liar, and I'm gonna smack you.
I was happy that he made reference to like giant Robo and like some of the original like actual Gundam.
Yeah. So when you beat the second gate, you pull up like it pulls up like a touch screen with all of these giant robots from like everything ever, like all the Megazords from Power Rangers. Voltron, fucking the Iron Giant, for Christ's sake. The Gundam, the original Gundam from the anime,
and then
which was the one I would have picked that one in a heartbeat. I would have slammed my hand on that button so fucking fast I probably would have broke it.
Yeah, same here. Later on, we find out that they actually had 3 of the mechs from the Neon Genesis Evangelion series. That would have blown my fucking mind. But they're not that great compared to these other things.
No, like it's one of those things where it's like the Evangelion mechs are pretty dope, but it's like if Jukebox had an Evangelion mech and I had a Gundam, I'm gonna win 99 out of 100 times probably.
Yeah.
Just because capabilities.
So I mean, I can still take nukes and shit, so it's not like it's useless. True. It's just like there's better options.
Yeah, because it's like you can't fly. I don't know.
And you know what, dude?
Because I've never seen Evangelion. Honestly, one day I'm gonna come over and literally just hang out with you for like fucking 16 hours, and it's like we need to binge Evangelion and we need to binge like Madoka Magica.
I can dig this like a lot.
Because like I need to see these things. I keep seeing them in like top 10s and shit. I'm just like, oh.
Here's the thing. I almost guarantee you're gonna hate Evangelion because of how slow it is.
I've watched slow shit before. I'm no stranger.
Well, I mean slow as in they killed their entire budget on the fight scenes, so you're gonna have literal 1-minute sequences looking at a background with barely any dialogue.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that kind of shit. However,
that's fine.
If fucking Evangelion 4.0 comes out, like the movie, so we have a complete movie series with an ending, I mean, I'm going to buy it immediately because I already have the first 3. You will fucking love that.
Beautiful.
Because it's up to today's standards and it's fucking action-packed and it's like beautifully animated. And it's just... Yeah.
Anyway. Parzival completes... Also, we forgot to mention something. Again, we claimed full spoiler warning, so if you watch this and you get mad at me for mentioning stuff and ruining the book for you, I'm going to come to your house And I'm probably going to smack you with a copy of the book. Not actually, because I have no money and I cannot pay for the flight. But anyways.
We know who you are.
Yeah. So between the first gate and the second key, Parzival starts talking to Artemis a lot. And it's stated at like the beginning of the book that he has this monster crush on her.
Right.
Like, just huge crush. He gets the first key, and she shows up right after he beats it. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh. And then it's revealed that she's known where the first key is for like 2 fucking months. But she hasn't been able to win at Joust.
Yeah. Understandable.
So, understandable, because like we said, hard as fuck.
Yeah.
So they hit it off because they're both fucking nerds. And he's just like dumbstruck goo goo gaga because he's fucking obsessed with her. And eventually she kind of like quote unquote breaks up with him. Because they weren't dating. At least she denied that they were dating, because she was like, we need to focus on the egg hunt. We can figure out what we are after. He's like, no, I don't care. I only need you. And I'm like, $240 billion for simply putting that shit on hold. I'm going to take the money. Because it's not like you have to choose one or the other. It's like, I can still go get the money and then you'll be there after. Or I can have you now and give up the money. Like, that's a pretty shitty decision.
Yeah.
So anyway, she finds the second key first. So he's no longer the highest. He's no longer at the top of the leaderboard. So that gives him the big kick in the ass he needs to go and like really start trying to figure out the second clue.
Yeah. And then
so,
in that time, the evil conglomerate fucking internet provider corporation, they start finding like the second and third clues long before the others do. And they're fucking freaking out because they think they're going to lose to the mega corporation and whatever.
Yeah.
But
so
the third clue.
I was going to mention the robot that Parzival picks, by the way, is a robot called Leopardon.
Mm-hmm.
Or Leopardon or whatever. It's from the Japanese version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this thing existed. Like,
me either.
I got to that part of the book where he picked it, and I was like, Google help.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
No. So that's the one he picked. So if you wanna know, just give it a quick Google. It's pretty basic mech. It's big and black and boxy, and it's cool though.
Should have went with the Gundam.
Should have went with the Gundam, but that's okay. Somebody gets it later.
Yeah. Okay. Third clue, because I figured this one out immediately. Like, I mean, instantly the moment I read it. It is the 5-pointed star, the logo of Rush, the band.
Yeah, you would hit that one immediately. I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, literally the day before I got to this part of the book, because I was doing a bunch of other stuff, weekend, whatever, I had to take about, I don't know, like 150 vinyl records, fit them onto my shelf alphabetically, and move all of my records over one cubby, so my shelf is 100% full now.
Goddamn.
I have 2 copies of Rush's 2112, so I looked at them like hours before I read this. So, I mean, if it was going to take me like a moment to think of it before, I got it fucking immediately this time.
Bum.
Yeah. So, they really rush straight through the third gate and the third key and all this stuff.
It goes really fast.
Yeah. And, I mean, Rush is pretty huge, but they're also Canadian, so I wonder how many of the American readers just didn't get it.
I mean, I didn't get it, but then again, it's like, I love Rush. I love Rush's music.
Yeah, but I mean...
But it's like, I wasn't I wasn't like, oh, that's obviously Rush.
Well, yeah, but it's not like you listen to their albums regularly or anything.
Yeah.
Like, even if you love Rush, I doubt you've heard like 3/4 of their music because they were super progressive as a band. So the whole 2112 album, there's no way you would hear that on the radio, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then it's obvious that it's Rush. He goes to a planet or something based off of Rush's 2112, and there's more clues as lyrics to one of the songs on 2112. And he happens to find something because, oh, by the way, did we mention that he can play guitar? Because he can play guitar, convenient for the plot.
Yeah, he like conveniently learned how to play guitar when he was growing up or whatever.
Yeah. So he plays the song on guitar, and it unlocks another clue, which is the first was ringed in red metal, the second in greenstone, the third is clearest crystal and cannot be unlocked alone. So
That was pretty obvious.
yeah, you need more than one person to unlock the last gate. So
I had a little bit of beef with the third key.
yeah.
Just because as we're going through the book, the main three characters are all adamant solo players.
Right.
And granted, plot armor is plot armor because, of course, naturally, you need three people to get the last key, and conveniently, there's three main protagonists. You know, so. But I was still like just a little butthurt. I was like, how bad would that feel? Let's say you were playing through this, and you were like solo as solo gets.
Right.
And like, let's say you were the first one to find the first key, beat the first gate, get the second key, beat the second gate, and then suddenly you need two more fucking people to get the last key. And then let's say let's say eventually two more people get there, and you're like, we're opening this gate, every man for himself, because we're all fucking solo players. And then you get through, and then somebody else sneaks ahead and claims the Easter egg just because you aren't as good as the particular game or trial or whatever. Yeah. Even though you were in the lead the entire time, I'd be fucking furious.
Yeah, I'd be livid.
So I was as a gamer, like as a true at heart gamer, I was pretty butthurt by that. I was like, that's pretty fucking dirty.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's like, again though, in a real life situation, it's like we'd have you and me and our two ladies, and like, you know, we'd have a squad.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really matter.
It's like the entourage is here, give us the money.
Yeah, exactly, right? It'd be like, okay, cool. It'd be like, hey, fucking Jukebox just won the Easter egg. It's not like he's going to be like, no, this is my $240 billion. Get fucked.
Everyone gets a piece.
Here's $20 for you. Here's $20 for you.
Oh, God.
I'm going to go wipe my ass with gold foil now. But, yeah, so just as like an at-heart gamer, that part kind of struck a nerve in me.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it was just that. Like, I can't imagine if you were, like, the leading example the whole time, and then somebody's like, oh, I'm just conveniently better at fucking Tempest than you.
Yeah. And Tempest...
Just put a bullet...
Tempest is a goddamn hard game.
I got pretty excited when he, like, beamed in and it was Tempest. I was like, yeah!
Nice. I didn't even know you knew what Tempest was.
Dude, the nerd.
Oh. Yeah.
Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, okay.
Only
I forgot
reason
about
I know
that.
what Tempest is. Only reason I know what Tempest is because of the fucking AVGN.
Yeah. You know what? There was another thing with that suspension of disbelief, because it's like, he never played that game. And then, you know, he gets like the high score after like 2 tries. And I'm like, maybe, you know, the people you have reading this book will believe it because they've never played this game or something, but I call horseshit on that.
There is one thing where you're actually wrong. He never said that he never played it. He said it's been a long time since he's played it.
Okay, it's not that he never played it, but he barely played it. That wasn't
But
one that he worked on or anything.
Yeah, so he was incredibly out of practice. So again, I call it a little bit of bullshit just on plot armor.
Yeah.
But
well, here's like a good analogy. Let's say you've only ever played Guitar Hero on easy. And then it's like, okay, you have to beat through the fire and the flames on expert in order to win this. You're not going to do that in your second fucking try.
No. But it was good for him, though, because it's like Artemis, bless her soul, realizes that the particular version of Tempest that they have to play in the third gate is a version from a year where there was a hack. If you lost your last life with a certain score, or like above a certain score, or a certain numerical value, something like that, you reloaded with an extra like 42 lives.
Yeah, you got 40 lives.
So I do maintain that, although yes, bullshit plot armor, I do maintain that if you have 40 more tries, you're probably going to get your rhythm back, and he's probably going to get used to the game again.
Yeah. Though,
but
he did it on like his second try.
Did he? I could have sworn he beat it on like his last life.
I don't think so.
Anyways,
because he also had like the entire IOI trying to like beat it at the same time.
Yeah. So again, love the book to death. It's amazingly well written and well thought out, but there is like just a hint of like bullshit plot armor.
Yeah. A little more of that. At one point, he actually explores an arcade, which no one seemed to find.
Yes.
For no good reason, because it seems like something a lot of people would want to find. And then he gets a 100% perfect game in Pac-Man.
In one try.
Yeah. And I mean...
And granted, we both know Pac-Man we both know Pac-Man's exploitable with like the certain path you can run.
Yeah.
But still, it was one of the
so
cases
easy
where
to
it's
fuck
like
up at any second. Like,
yeah,
there are people who have had perfect runs, but they're so far and few between. I can't believe for a second that someone who, you know, has never done it before or gotten anywhere close would just do it in 1 or 2 tries.
Yeah. So, again, bit of bullshit plot armor. So,
but I was also super excited that, you know, they were talking about Pac-Man and stuff, and that actually led into one of my theories with, you know, 256, 512 and all that stuff, because Pac-Man's an 8-bit game. Once you get to level 256, essentially you can't carry the 1 in 8-bit after that point, so half of the screen just gets garbled up.
What do they call that again? I can never remember what they call that.
The kill screen.
Kill screen, right?
Yeah. There's a better instance of a kill screen in Donkey Kong.
Yep.
Where you
remember
literally
that from
die.
I remember that from the documentary. Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe.
Yeah. The King of Kong.
The King of Kong.
Fistful of quarters.
But yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Give that a watch if you get a chance. Great movie. Great insight into how hardcore shit gets.
Yeah.
So when he beats Pac-Man, he gets a quarter.
Hold on. As a part of the arcade collecting community and stuff, the narrative in that movie is false. Like, they build Billy Mitchell up to be like a big bad guy type thing, and Steve Wiebe to be like this lowly, you know, I got to battle against the bad guy kind of thing. And I mean, it works for the movie, but if you are an arcade collector, you see right through the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This isn't Billy Mitchell like actually like a fucking stand-up guy and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, he gets the quarter.
Yeah, he gets the quarter, and it literally does nothing. It's just a fucking quarter. So he's like, okay, cool. I just burned 3 hours playing Pac-Man for no fucking reason. Anyways, so he throws it in his inventory and forgets about it. And then when they get to the third gate, when they get to the third key, it's like massive battle royale. And it's awesome. because it's like all the 4 main characters, they all summon their giant robots. So like Parzival has Leopardon. I think, did Artemis have one from Evangelion?
No, the IOI members had all 3 Evangelion ones.
Right. I'm trying to remember what.
What did she have?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, so we know the big bad guy from the IOI, the Mega Corporation, had Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, he had fucking Mechagodzilla. Fuck. Doesn't say what she had.
What about H?
What mech did Artemis have?
What mech did H have?
H had the Gundam.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I know that one.
Okay.
Blah 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 blah. Fucking tell me what she had. Fuck's sakes.
We are using our Google Foo as we speak.
And it's not working.
Minerva X. Yeah, so look that up.
Oh, from Mazinger.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also probably worth noting that Leopardon is about the same height as Mechagodzilla, and I think in the book he was making it sound like he had to like fly up to Mechagodzilla, like he was tiny or something.
They made either the mechs seem much smaller than they are, or they made Mechagodzilla seem fucking 20 times bigger than he is.
Yeah, and then Ultraman, who is shorter than Mechagodzilla, was
somehow the same size.
Yeah, so
whoops. There are some sizing things. But you know, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sending you a picture. I mean,
oh joy.
A book like this, there's got to be some yeah, you like it?
I love it.
Nice. Take it.
Yeah, I love how small the Gundam is. Yeah, but like Leopardon's fucking huge.
Yeah.
So is Mechagodzilla, so.
Yeah. And it's funny, Daito and Shoto just fucking gone. Whatever. I like reading through the book, I was like, he's not talking about them very much. They're probably gonna die.
They were very much side characters, that's for sure.
Yeah. Man, it's funny. Every time we love something, we just shit on it.
That's why we're able to love it, Jukebox. That's why you can't love something without hating it for its flaws. So yeah, pretty much what happens is Parzival clears the 3rd gate. He beats the Tempest game. He beats the high score, and then he gets beamed into this like workroom. And he looks around.
It's filled with old computers and consoles.
Yeah, and then he finds. Is it the Trash 80?
No, it's the Atari 2600.
Is it?
Oh, okay,
oh yeah, you're right. He plugs in a copy of fucking
Adventure.
Anorak's Adventure.
No, it's just Adventure.
Yeah, just Adventure. Beats Adventure. And then he like essentially he has to put in a password at some point. And
dude, I'll explain this.
Give her, because I'm a little rusty.
Okay, so early on in the book, Ernest Cline makes sure to specifically mention that in Halliday's house, no one can find Adventure on the Atari 2600, which, when Halliday announces that he has died in the video and that there's an Easter egg hidden in his game, he shows that the first Easter egg was in the Atari game Adventure. And it's back then, artists and designers and developers, those people did not get their names on the game. Just the company did. So what the programmer for Adventure did was he put a secret room in the game where on screen it would display his name. So they made it very clear that Adventure was important. and then didn't mention it for like another 300 pages. And then at the end of the book, he's in a room filled with computers and consoles, and he's got to figure something out. And he goes to the Atari 2600, and sure as shit, in the stack of games, Adventure is back in the stack of games. So he plugs that in and goes to the room where the hidden Easter egg is, and that's how he finds the Easter egg in the Oasis.
Yeah.
Did you follow me on that?
Exactly what I said. Exactly what I said.
Yeah, definitely.
Jukebox just took all the thunder. But yeah, and then I'd like blanked for half a second. Did you mention what the password was?
Wasn't it the lady's name?
Yes, it was her avatar name, Lucretia or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
I think it was Lucretia. Which, if it is Lucretia, or if I don't just have Final Fantasy on the brain, that's a Final Fantasy reference.
Nice.
Ready, player one, Lucretia.
I have the book next to me, but I don't want to go searching for it. Anyways, that pretty much brings us to the end of the book, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And then it's like, so he completes it, an avatar of Halliday pops up, and then he like gives Parzival his mage robes, and then Parzival immediately gets all the money and full access, and his avatar gets maxed out stats and God mode, essentially.
Yeah, everything becomes infinite.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, happy ending and all that, and he now has friends, and, you know, he met one of the creators of the Oasis, and yeah. I mean, it's a really fucking good book. Like, I like the way I put it. It's a good book. It's a bad piece of literature.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just like Breath of the Wild in episode 3. We shit on it because we love it
so much. It's just that, like, it's one of those things where you read it and you're going to love the ever-living shit out of it. But then you're going to just be a little sad that it had the flaws that it did. I kind of wish the book had just had another 150 pages.
Yeah.
And then it could have just gone the extra mile. It could have
fleshed some shit out.
Yeah, it could have gone through the process of him getting his apartment. It could have gone through the process of... It could have gone into more detail about, like, the second gate and everything. It could have... You know, also, fun thing, because we forgot to mention it, the third gate, the Crystal Key Gate, is a flick sync of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Right.
So he's playing through as King Arthur. So it's like at one point he's like looking up at the fucking wall, and it's like your mother was a hamster and your father reeked of elderberries. Now leave, or I shall insult you again. So I got a kick out of that part too. I was like, oh, that would be so fun.
You know what, dude?
What?
I am absolute scum because I haven't watched Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail. I've only seen clips.
We have a goal the next time we hang out because that thing is the greatest thing known to man.
Trust me,
it's good.
It is legitimately on the list of things I want to watch.
Yeah.
Unlike Lord of the Rings, which I can't give a single shit about. Watch as we lose all of our subscribers right there.
Yeah, they'll be like, what? No Lord of the Rings?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it'll be next recording session. I'll be like, Jukebox, how's the RSS feed going? You'll be like, oh, it dead.
Yeah.
It gone.
Oh, God. Man, I love this book.
Me fucking too.
And it's funny because I knew about it when it first came out.
And you told me about it when it first came out, and then I forgot about it like the scum I am.
And it's like, I keep telling people that it's like an amazing book filled with 80s references and all this stuff, but I've never read it. And then like all of a sudden you've read it and your girlfriend's read it and there's a movie coming in a month and I'm like, oh fuck, I should just read it.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Too
I was
funny.
honestly, I was holding off for so long because I figured I would eventually buy the audiobook because Will Wheaton reads it. And apparently he
nice.
does an excellent job.
Much excite.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything else you want to say about the book?
I love it. It's a masterpiece. Go read it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Give Ernest Cline your money so
All
he
the
can
money.
write the sequel.
Yeah, like not some of the money. Like he give him all the monies. Just all of them.
You know, dude,
Like,
I'm actually pretty
bank account,
certain
bank
that I
account.
read that he's making a sequel.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hang on, to the interwebs. Ready player on Google. Ernest Cline is writing a sequel to Ready Player One.
Damn.
Let me skim this real quick. Blah 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 blah.
Wicka 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 wicka. Boots and cats and boots and cats
Yeah,
and boots.
I guess.
Okay.
He was on a live stream, and they were asking him some questions, and they asked, "Are you writing a sequel, or is the rumor false?" And he said, and I quote, "It's true. I can't talk about it too much, but there's no better inspiration for a writer than to return to a world they've already worked on when they're watching Steven Spielberg bring that world back to life."
Oh my god.
So, confirmed, we're getting a second one.
I can dig it. Maybe.
I can't imagine how it's going to go unless they like
He's gonna press the big red button and just erase it.
yeah, it'll be like Parzival went evil and made a new Easter egg and he's like, fuck all of y'all.
Oh god.
But yeah, okay, cool. So we're getting a second one, so I'm really hyped about that.
I greatly appreciate the video game references for the most part. I'm not super
Me
up
too.
on like 80s television. I'm only
Neither
partway
am I.
there on like, you know, anime and movies. I'm definitely there on music.
Yeah. That was it. I had like video games and I had a lot of the like TV and movies down, but like any like music stuff, I was like durr.
Yeah. And I really hoped they would actually had a something to do with Galaga. Beyond like war
you'd
games,
think.
I was hoping I'd be like, oh, they keep mentioning Galaga. Is this the thing that Kelryx told me I'd shit my pants about?
Yeah, no.
No, it was just.
It was Joust. Let's finish this off. Let's finish this off with, let's say you woke up tomorrow
Uh-huh.
and the Oasis is 100% real,
Uh-huh.
and you have enough money to literally access whatever you want, like any scenario
Virtual blowjobs.
you want. Virtual blowjobs. Okay, that's what Jukebox is doing. I'm gonna go
kidding.
be the
Just
pirate
finish what
king.
you're saying.
I'm gonna go be the pirate. I'm gonna go be the pirate king, but I'll let Jukebox just get sucked off in VR. That's fine.
What if I want to be the Pirate King and get sucked off?
I will fight the shit out of you.
Oh no, what would I do?
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like if you had enough money to teleport to any planet and play through any scenario you wanted, what would you do?
That's a hard one because Sword Art Online. Because seriously, I wouldn't
That'd be
care
a
about
good
like
one.
being inside of like a Mario Bros game. They were
No,
never
that'd be pretty
designed to
boring.
be like, hey, you exist in this world. They were designed to be you play in this world. So
Yeah.
like Sword Art Online to have an actual VRMO RPG, like that would be the be all end all, right?
Mine would definitely be, I would either beam straight into One Piece and just like flick sync the shit out of it, or I would like beam into like Tales of Symphonia, or oh my god, dude, we could be Pokemon trainers.
Okay, I could dig that one too.
Fuck everything else. I need Pokemon.
I live here now.
I need a goddamn Charizard that I can summon at will.
Nice.
Also,
I'd be up for that.
Quick, like really random but fun fact. I realized something the other day, and it like hurt me deep in my soul, but at the same time I was very happy with it.
What's that?
My favorite Pokemon changed.
Really? From what to what?
Yeah.
Hit me.
Do you not remember what it used to be? Glaceon, yeah. It's Primarina.
Yeah?
I literally love everything about that Pokemon.
You know what? This isn't that much of a surprise to me because you were so gaga about Primarina.
I fuck it. That movie. That Pokemon.
That movie.
Oh, that movie. That Primarina movie. But just like, because I was playing through Ultra Sun and Moon, and like I won't stay on this for too long. I'll just like mention, like I was playing through like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And of course I picked fucking Popplio as my starter. And like once I got it to Primarina again, I just kind of like sat there for a minute and I was like, this is my favorite fucking Pokemon. Like bar none. I fucking love this thing.
It's allowed to change.
It's allowed to change. So Glaceon, I'm sorry, sweetie. I love you, but you're number 2 now.
Mine remains Farfetch'd.
Yeah.
Because a duck with a leak is absurd. But
honestly, Farfetch needs a Mega Evolution.
It does. It needs to become like the most OP thing. No, I'm still waiting on Dunsparce to get like a super crazy evolution.
I played a fan game. I think it was it Insurgents? No, it's Snakewood. I watched Nappy play through Snakewood, and Dunsparce gets an evolution in that, and he becomes a normal dragon.
Cool.
I will send you a picture. Anyways, back on topic.
Yeah, actually, I'm staying off topic for 2 more seconds. Yesterday was Pokemon Go Community Day, which is that's why I was in the capital city. It was just droves of people because it was nothing but Dratinis. And between 5 and 10% of the Dratinis that you would encounter would be shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I was doing.
Did you get any?
Hell yeah. I got like 6.
Nice. I just need...
Anyways, Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So copy image.
We need to talk about the movie, or at least the trailer.
Yes. So, my first thing is watching the trailer. My fiance and I noticed a couple of things. First of all, I know, isn't it like the fucking coolest thing ever? Yeah. But I just sent Jukebox a picture of Dunsparce's evolution in the Pokemon Uranium game. So
yeah, it's pretty.
It's very pretty. So we noticed in the trailer that Artemis doesn't have her birthmark on her face, and that irked us both.
Right.
But then we found a picture on Instagram that confirms that she will actually have her birthmark. So why they left it out of the trailer, I don't understand. Probably just to avoid spoilers.
Maybe. I mean, it could have been early footage.
It could have been, and also like I'm gonna go off of like a lack of spoilers because of course you don't find out about that she has her birthmark until you're like 2/3 through the book.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that you wouldn't want to just slap that into the fucking trailer. So I'll give them a pass on that one. Yep. As long as she actually has it in the movie, I'm okay.
Yeah.
The other one is they must have changed up one of the gates.
Yes, because there's like a death race now.
Yeah, there's a fucking death race in the trailer, and it doesn't happen in the movie.
Okay.
I'm dumb hyped for that race, though. That's going to be a fucking awesome part.
When they're showing everyone at the starting line, first, you can see a lot of cars, so it's like the Batmobile from 66, the A-Team van, the DeLorean, and then like Kit from Knight Rider, and a bunch of other shit. But you can see scrolling on a banner, it's like, I don't remember what it says, but it's like the fight for the Copper Key. So instead of playing Joust, or whatever, or doing, maybe they still have to do Joust, because there are times where you see Anorak's avatar. But maybe instead of doing war games, they have to do a race.
Maybe.
Which I could understand.
Give me a sec. I just pulled up the trailer. I'm gonna slow it down to like half the speed, and I'm gonna watch through it and see if
Send me a link. I'll watch the same one.
Okay, here, give me a sec. Pause.
Actually, on Discord, if you call me and then do screen share.
Oh, we can watch it together. That's right too. Okay. Uno momento. How do you do the screen share?
Well, first,
Call.
join call. Hello.
Turn on screen share.
Yep. For those of you listening, we use Discord to talk to each other, and it has a new feature where you can do screen sharing. So we're going to be watching this trailer together at slow speed, and Kelryx will be pausing it at points so we can talk about certain things, because man, this trailer is a fucking trip.
Oh, it gets you going. Okay, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I have it muted. I don't know if that matters or not.
No, that'll be fine. I'm glad that they kept him in this disarray of cars so that he can have his hidey spot.
Oh, absolutely.
I like how they portray the stacks.
Me too. Looks very realistic without looking too bullshit.
Yeah. And
like I could definitely see that happening eventually.
Yeah, and here's a nice little touch is they have a drone flying through the neighborhood, because I mean, years and years from now, why not?
Shit. Yeah. And like literally everybody is logged into the Oasis all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, fucking.
Oh, pause it for a second.
Would you rather?
Finish what you were saying.
It's one of those things where it's like you're reading the book, and once you learn what the Oasis is and what it's capable of, I dare anybody to tell me they wouldn't be logged into that shit literally all the time.
Yeah.
Because I would be.
I would too.
I'd literally go to work, get home, and be like, Jukebox, we're going, let's fucking roll. What are we doing today?
In this dystopian future, you would probably work inside of the Oasis.
Exactly.
So,
because they attend school inside the Oasis and everything.
Yeah,
so.
and you can build businesses in there and sell avatar items and whatever else. So,
yeah, exactly.
Right here in the trailer, this is important because he's wearing IOI gear.
Is he?
Yeah, and he is inside of his trailer, his hidey spot thing. So I feel like they may have completely removed the entire arc where he gets his own apartment and stuff.
Maybe. Makes sense.
Yeah. So
it would be quite extensive to do the whole apartment arc.
Yeah. And I can fully accept that in a movie they're going to have to remove things and streamline stuff to fit it into a shorter narrative, because they only got like 1.5 to 2 hours. So
this movie, honestly, it better be over fucking 2 hours long, or I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of content to fit in there, and this is why when I messaged you, I thought it was going to be like a shit show, and the movie might just like completely fuck everything up, because like this is a pretty important detail that he no longer has as important, that he's with IOI while he's still in his hidey spot. Yeah. And then go ahead and click play, because there's some other really big things that differ from the book.
I can't find a playtime yet. The movie hasn't. It's not close enough to release.
Yeah.
Oh, just like it gets. Again, it gets me as like a fucking nerd. Like it just gets me so worked up. Like I want this kind of shit so bad.
Yeah, to like actually exist.
Yeah.
And here's the
death
stuff.
race. Okay,
yeah,
so where's
the copper key?
Oh yeah,
right there.
Yeah, win the copper key.
Oh, and I think I see the speed racer car with the number 5 on it.
Yes,
yeah.
The Mach 5, the old Batmobile, Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yep. Oh,
the Men in Black car. The Men in Black car is there. The A-Team's van is there in the top left.
Okay, I knew about that one.
I don't know what that really big one at the very front is, though.
That's. Do you mean like in the distance or at the?
Yeah, in the distance. Is that a car or is that?
There's a monster truck from the 80s in there.
Right.
And the one where your cursor was at the bottom of the screen, that's the Batmobile.
Right, yeah, I knew about this one. And then that's the Men in Black car, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Because those thrusters on the back look familiar.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's like a million references, and it says win the copper key on this banner, so they're going to have some weird-ass Hot Wheels race car thing.
Also, I don't know if I told you this, but when me and Alexa go and see this, we're doing D-box seats.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the motion seats.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah. We both we just looked at each other. We were like, D-box? D-box.
How much does that cost?
I think it's like $23 a seat. $24 a seat. Like, it's expensive, but like...
We might have to do a double date for this, dude.
I'd be very okay with that. I'd be very okay with that.
Hype for this. Okay, anyways.
Me too.
Let's get on with this trailer.
Yeah, we're going. Obviously, Parzival has the DeLorean.
And his avatar doesn't look like him. Which, in real life, in the book, they make him sound like he's some ugly bastard. But in this, he doesn't look bad. I mean...
Yeah. No, he's a fair-looking guy.
Yeah. And
Artemis, that's something Alexa had an issue with when she was reading the book and watching the trailer. Artemis looks nothing like she does in the book.
Right. Or at least how they describe her.
She's described as very curvy in the book.
Oh, yeah.
And she is far from curvy in the
She looks like a fucking twig. Her avatar, at least, we're talking about here.
Yeah. Yeah, her actual actress is more well-proportioned.
So, okay, pause for a second. They are
Do we need to back up there for a sec?
So he is still in his camper at this point, whereas in the book he would have been in his apartment.
Yes.
And
so
they're at Ogden's birthday party at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's also wearing the full interface suit.
Yeah, so he probably got his promotions and all his payments and stuff, but
yeah, so yeah, they definitely don't do the apartment thing.
Yeah.
Which makes me a little sad because that was one of my favorite parts of the book. But it's one of those things where it's like you got to cut the fat somewhere, and that's not a bad place to cut it from.
So when you press play, I'm pretty sure, because I know there's different points at Ogden's birthday party where you will see Tomb Raider, and you will see Harley Quinn and Deadshot, and this point where they're all floating, Gandalf is in there somewhere.
Is he really?
Yeah. Somewhere on the right there. People have pointed them out.
Is this him at the bottom?
I think so.
Yeah, that's probably him.
So, I mean, they're trying to get as many references as they can in there that people would care about, because it's like, your avatar can be anything, so why not, be Gandalf?
Yeah, exactly.
I love Halliday's Simon Says pin.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Easter egg.
The egg. Yeah, and I didn't notice this before. Hang on,
the writing around the top.
Yeah, right here. The skills to survive, straits, blah blah.
Yeah, so
that's pretty awesome.
His poem.
I missed that. Yeah, I missed that completely. Yeah. And then this is him, obviously, at the very beginning.
Yeah, because he's still got his junky stuff, no suit.
Yeah, all the Sixers.
Everyone with a VR headset. Oh, I love this. This is Akira's bike from Akira.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I lost my mind when I saw that.
I was wondering. I thought it looked really familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. That looks like the crystal key to me.
Yeah, that would be Anorak and the crystal key.
Find him.
That's Og's birthday party again.
So yeah, that was Artemis, and I mean, obviously they're going to change it so they meet way earlier on, which I'm a little concerned about, because that completely changes the dynamic of like the second half of the book.
Yeah, so again, it's going to be one of those things where we're gonna hate it from a book standpoint, but it's probably gonna be by itself. It's probably gonna be just a fucking amazing movie.
Yeah, and there's that spoiler thing we left out.
Yep.
I mean,
Da-da-da.
I think the movie. Oh, she has
never
her. She
mind.
has her face covered with hair.
Oh.
So here's what I'm thinking. In the same way that the book is a great book but a horrible piece of literature, I think the movie's going to be a great piece of entertainment but also a horrible piece of literature. Or not like literature but like media. I mean, it's people are going to love it for what it is, but I doubt 20 years from now we're going to be talking about like the all-time classics, and this will be one of them. Because this looks like a summer action flick.
Yeah,
Battletoads.
I give you the Battletoads. I don't know who this dude is.
Isn't that H? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I can't really see.
H would be in the Gundam.
And there's going to be more at that final battle scene. I told my mom this. I was worried that they weren't going to be able to get all the licenses to. Yeah, see there was Harley. There's Tracer and Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I was worried that they weren't going to get the rights to all these things. So like, I'm going to be sad if they don't have the Evangelion mechs at the end. But like, I understand if they.
There, boom, right there.
Yeah.
No birthmark.
Yeah.
Which is, like I said, fine. I'll allow it.
Gundam.
That Gundam though.
And then Chucky.
Yeah, just at random.
Lots of screaming.
Gundam again.
Oh, the Iron Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Much excite.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great. Can't wait.
Much excite.
Okay.
Oh.
Man. We've been talking about this for almost 2 hours.
Well.
Hello?
In conclusion, anything? Oops. What did I do?
Hello, yes, you are here?
I fucked up.
Oh, okay. So we've been talking about this for almost 2 hours. Besides telling everyone that they need to go read this book, any final thoughts?
Go read this book. Give Ernest Cline all your money.
Yeah, I mean, you owe it to yourself if you love, retro 80s things to read this book.
That's actually what I was gonna actually add in. Is it's just that it's like if you grew up in the 80s or in the 90s, like you're gonna catch a lot of these references. You're gonna really love this book, and you're gonna really love this movie when it comes out. And you bet your sweet booties that once the movie does come out, Jukebox and I will be there with like a spoiler-free movie review. We'll talk about how much it differentiates from the book, if we still loved it just as much anyways, which I mean, I'm sure we're fucking gonna.
Yeah. You know what?
But
I can't guarantee that it's going to be spoiler-free.
No, that's fair. Okay, no, we'll write that off right now. It very well will not be spoiler-free, but we will, of course, at the beginning of the episode, if you choose to watch it, we will give you a heads up, spoiler warning, brr. So.
Yeah. Fucking hype.
Yeah, me too. I'm just,
Well. So, I'm Jukebox Hero.
I'm KelryxsKing.
And this is the Infinity Games Podcast, and we thank you for listening.
Huzzah!
Feel free to subscribe. Like, you've made it this far.
Please.
I mean, listen to us some more,
Hey, that plug.
That plug.
That plug, though.
That butt plug.
Ooh,
Bye.
Butt stuff. Bye.
Okay, I'm stopping.